So hello, welcome to Dubai Autodrome. It's about to level up. I haven't been to this circuit for around about 3 years, and today we've got the keys to this GT4, and I think it's an opportune moment to go on the track and remind ourselves of the awesomeness that is the platform of the GT4 just a few days after the GT4 RS has been announced, and have a bit of a chat about how that feels around this circuit. But first of all, walk and talk on some of the amazing specs of the Porsches around here. All right, so the significance of this day is that it is a Porsche GT Club event. So every Porsche that you see in here is a GT product of some kind. So over my shoulder is the casual GT2 RS that we just walked past, and then we have this phenomenal GT2 here. And I love the juxtaposition of those two cars, a 2RS and a GT2, the original Widowmaker. This is not stock either. When you follow this car, there's flames coming out of it and it's popping and banging. But follow me through. I want to pick out some highlights of the specs here. There's some interesting PTS cars. One of the reasons I want to talk about that is right now back in the UK, while I'm over here, we're plotting and planning the upgrades to my 991.2 GT3. If anyone's been following the channel, the reason being is it's just reached 43,000 miles, which for a GT3 in itself is not half bad. And we thought, you know what, let's give it somewhat of a midlife refresh on its journey to 100,000 miles. So while we're here, I thought we could draw some inspiration and ideas as to what little tweaks and upgrades we could do on the car, starting with this one here. This is like a British racing green touring on the lightweight magnesium alloys, which originally launched on the GT2 RS. But follow me over here. What I particularly like is this Gulf blue car, and I definitely want to take some inspiration from the Gulf themes. I don't know whether it's because I'm over here, but there's just something about it I love. I think I actually saw this car before, the last time I was out here, but I love the subtlety of it. I love the color. You don't see many of these colors out in the UK, but I really like the lighter aurum accents. So these aren't silver, they're like a sort of satin champagne shade, you know? And they also have tied in this here. Now I want to add in some nods to the heritage of Porsche, and I quite like the idea of actually applying the Porsche logo down the side of our car. But let's see. We're also in the planning to see what we can do with the wing. We're really fortunate now to have 3 winged GT3s on the channel, and we thought, you know what, if there was ever an occasion to perhaps turn one into a ducktail or try and turn one into a touring equivalent, on this facelift project of our 991.2 might well be it. Now then, the other great thing about the GT event is that it has on-hand support over here. So they have this Michelin van which has come over, and every time you come off the track, the engineer will come in, check your pressures, bleed the appropriate amount out so that they're at the optimum pressure for when you go back out. And that just helps maintain an optimized contact patch with your tire when you're out on track, allowing you to get more laps in without fatigue and fade from the rubber. And I believe he's also got some spare tires in there should you wish to slap on a set of Cup 2Rs. And look at this spec. That's the other thing over here. The region loves to customize and expand on one's own personality within their car. And check this out. Speaking of one's own personality, this is a deep, deep green. So this has got the lightweight BBS forged wheels on, also running the carbon ceramics. He's got a fairly well used set of Michelin Cup 2s on here, which we always like to see. And oh, check out the interior. He's got the tartan inserts on the seats. What a spec. This is very cool. Air induction ports as they were. These are a carbon fiber optional upgrade. I quite fancy the idea of that depending on what spec we end up going for. I believe there are also end plates available in carbon 2 plus. Basically everything that's black plastic on a GT3 somewhere in the world is available a carbon fiber upgrade. And then check out this. These must be titanium tips because they've gone and done that thing that titanium does when it gets hot and turn all kinds of awesome. Is this your car? Dude, I want to see the seats, man. They're so, look at this. I would fist bump you, but it looks like you just busted your wrist. Look at the seats. I love this. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Brewster green.
Brewster green. It's like beautiful, rich, dark green. It's gorgeous, man. I appreciate you opening up. Thank you very much. That's really cool. So I'm pretty sure, even though we have a lav mic on, I'm pretty sure that the ambient sound is being picked up on this. There's no rules around here for noise limits. So everyone has an aftermarket exhaust. and that's why it sounds like we're at a cup car event rather than a track day. Because effectively, GT3s, they run cup car engines. But in the UK, we're typically capped at around about 105 decibels on your average track day. There is the occasional D-restricted day for people who are shaking down race cars. But around here, everyone has a fancy exhaust, which is why it sounds like we're at a race day. I mean, if there's anything that says not stock, it's those pipes. And this fine gentleman here is about to demonstrate how this thing sounds. That thing at 9 as well is a different breed. Look at this as well. There's lots of GT2s around here, lots of them. Sounds amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Sounds great, man. Honestly, it sounds really good. Okay, so here we go. I thought, what better opportunity to talk about the new GT4 RS than driving a GT4, getting a feel for that platform, remembering and sharing what that felt like, what it feels like, and maybe it will give us some hints as to what we're in for with the RS while driving around the incredible circuit that is Dubai Autodrome, a track which I've not actually driven for about 3 years, so bear with me while we get a feel for it. So, yeah, GT4 platform. This is obviously a manual. The 4RS is well, currently only available as a PDK, but obviously it's all about lap times and good times, and it's just going to be fascinating to see what weight saving Michelin Cup 2R tyres as well is all about. I've got a feeling that a lot of the revisions they've made to that car obviously combined make a big difference to the overall speed and composition of the package, but I think it's an over 20-second saving on the lap time of a GT4 from a GT4 RS. A big contribution of that has got to be from the Michelin Cup 2Rs, which will be available as fitment on the GT4 RS. Now, this particular car is running the standard steel brakes, and just then when it had a little bit of a twitch, reminds you of just how well balanced the platform is as a whole, because of course the biggest USP really of the Cayman platform is that it's mid-engined, unlike its big brother 911, which is engine a bit further out back, so the physics aren't always in your favor. I mean, we're flat out through that left-hander there, and the way this thing composes itself is remarkable. And the direction change, and this isn't on Cup 2Rs, and it's running a little bit more weight than the RS will. And I just thought, while we're on here, what an opportunity to get a feel for the circuit and a feel for the GT4 to give us some hints as to what the RS might be like. Now, the big difference of the RS will be that GT3 engine. I mean, we've effectively got a mid-mounted GT3 engine in the car, which for me just screams incredible. Down that long straight back there and down the straight a little bit further on around this lap, you do feel that the car's lacking a little bit of punch versus the GT3, and it's the GT3 RS. But when it does let go, it's so well balanced. It's just a beautiful driving experience from a physics point of view. Look at this circuit as well. So Dubai Autodrome, as the name would suggest, obviously based in Dubai, but there's Dubai and then there's in the city.
And I particularly love that. As you rise over the crests up here, you can see the traffic and the world going about their day while you should be focusing on your braking point. Oh, and there's those fantastic Porsche stock brakes. Like I mentioned, these aren't even the carbon ceramics. Wow, a balance. And as you feel the way this chassis moves, there's no wonder basically every customer who's had a GT4, anyone who's ever driven one, and Porsche themselves thought, you know what, we should make an RS version of this, because as a fundamental platform, it's so good, it's so promising. Come on, come on. Yep. And you can definitely feel why the Cup 2Rs are going to be such a benefit in this car. I'm going to let this GT3 RS past us here. It's a nice Guards red car. Look at that go! And this right here, this is where the extra punch of a basically 500 horsepower GT3 engine is going to be a game changer in the RS, because these boys are gone down the straights. And in a manual car as well, you've got to just slow everything down a little bit just to make sure you execute your rev match downshifts correctly. And through there, I mean, a lift-off throttle through here in a 911 really highlights the physics of the car a little bit. But in this, it's a lot friendlier. See you stopping for me? Thank you. What a machine, honestly. This is why we're here in November. Just look at the light. I mean, you know, we haven't just come out here for the fun of it. Obviously, it's incredible. But back home, the clocks go back, the light gets short, generally the weather's pretty poor, and the car season sort of dries up a bit. And we don't have sounds like this. So we thought, you know what, let's bring your eyeballs over here with us and immerse you in some good stuff. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen so far, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you really like it, hit the bell, and you'll be the first to get to know when new content goes live. See you next time. Ciao!